Star Wars Recommando. Ba 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 ba. Actually, it's not Star Wars Recommando. Wrong one. Star Wars Force Unleashed. I collect some. I collect some parts. That was actually pretty laggy, so to make the gameplay more fun than just being lucky, some parts laggy. Sorry. Um. So though I don't know why some parts were pretty laggy. I think it is only for the scenes because it is pretty heavy, let's say. Because the game is pretty good in terms of graphics, so for cinematics it just like literally give everything that it has in terms of graphics. Um but when you're not fighting it's not that bad, as you see right there. It's not very laggy. So let me explain a bit the story and also how it plays and stuff. So basically, you control, let's say, a clone between commas, because it's not really a clone, but like made it so he thinks that he is a clone of a guy, and that he has been corrupted by his feelings and all, but he is actually the real guy. But he just didn't know because if I remember, in the last one, he was like really young, so he couldn't know. He only saw like his father die, I think, in front of him, or something like that. I don't really know because I don't think there's the two. There was a story before that. They didn't show anyway, but I don't think there is anyway. And so basically, you like being guided by your emotions, and you have to basically help your friends and be able to kill Darth Vader at the end, of course. Which is pretty cool because at the end you have actually two choices. You have a choice to be good, you have to be, and you can have a choice to be evil. And the bad thing though is like you actually cannot really use as your choice. Like you don't really have a choice for whatever two of them, because like if you choose the dark side, which is pretty cool, you actually die, and you been dead, killed by a clone of you who has been successfully in the dark side. And so that's not really a game over, but that's pretty much saying you're dead. And if you choose the light side, well, just good things happens and you're not dead. Very disappointing. Just a way to say, no, you're not going to the dark side. You're gonna die instead for going to the dark side. Which is a bit annoying because it would be better. Because, like, I remember there were some Star Wars games where they could actually choose, and that will actually affect the story. But on this one, it doesn't matter which one you choose. So as you see right there, you have like some powers. Like for example, I can use the force. I can also like make electricity with my two lightsabers, as you see, and I also can grab him and throw him away. And I also saw, while watching back the gameplay, that I missed actually a green thing, which I don't think you saw that, but it is a very short instant. It is basically one of the things that allows me to have a new color lightsaber. So for example, you see right there, I have a red one and a black one, which is pretty cool. I haven't changed my skin yet because I of course can change it. And so at the moment at the start, like you trying to escape, like I said, I skip the sceneries because it's very laggy. And also been a while I haven't played this game, so I kind of forgot how to play it. I actually surprisingly didn't know one of the coolest powers that is actually overpowered. It's basically you throwing your lightsabers, and you basically instant kill any machines or enemies, and also follows them. Like you don't need to aim, it just goes to them. Unless there's a wall, of course, that's going to stop your lightsabers, and you won't be able to fight for a moment until they come back, of course, like boomerangs. Because that's kind of the point of it, I guess. So, I also forgot how to to do those, and that's where I cut it. We can't. I know you might didn't see at all. I actually cut it. That's like I was pretty. That was pretty cool. And so I changed to the how do we say this? I changed it to the gear of a dark side. I think that's how you say gear. I don't know if you say clothes or gear, but I think we say clothes. So I'm gonna say clothes. um. So there was some moments I was like, for example, right there, like I didn't know what was happening. Like you see there, he was in the air with me, and he just suddenly disappeared there once again. So I was like, okay, well, I hope they fix that one day, which I don't think will happen because it's pretty much it's a finished game. I suppose that's just going to be like that forever for the moment, which well, it's not really fun because basically say it's not really useful to do that now. Because if you do that and they just transport like Goku with his instant transmission, it's not going to be useful at all. So you have many powers: the electricity, the force. You can also do like how can we say this? Well, basically, like if anyone that knows Dragon Ball Z, you can do like sort of a like imagine Vegeta did when he was in Dragon Ball Z when he sacrificed himself. You can kind of do that in a way. That's the thing that I was doing pretty much nearly all the time because it is pretty overpowered. Just like that, just this thing right there. This place was actually a bit. Well, I was a bit lost because there literally walls everywhere. I knew how to do that, but like the doors, like they open, but sometimes they don't. You have to hurt yourself to be able to open it. That's really weird to do that to open a door. Well, this is not doing lots of damage. Do you have also those guys who has like sort of electricity sticks? And the only way to be able to kill them is either using your powers, like for example the electricity or the force push, or you can also grab them, which I think is an instant kill, but I don't think it is. I'm not sure. And there, what I've used is actually the max power, let's say, or the unleashed potential, let's say. And you basically like become like not invincible. You can still die, but you're like nearly unkillable because your energy is completely infinite. And I think you do 4 times more of the damage, so that's very high and very powerful. But it is limited, of course, or else it like won't be fun to play enough. So I tried to dodge there also because there was also a sort of turret that launched missiles and all, so I have to be a bit careful about that. There was another those guys, so I have to deal with him first also. That's where I was kind of lost because I was like, okay, what do I do next? Because the door wasn't opening, I would say. And that's a robot. I remembered how to deal with him, but the fight actually went in a way that I didn't expect at all. Like usually those robots, what they do is like first we have to take out their shield, and secondly, what I had to do and what I knew is also like when you attack them, they usually do a hit like 3 or 5 seconds later. So what I usually do is I dodge them. And since I'm used to that, I usually dodge them every time. But it kind of did differently as you see. What there is like I went way away, and then they still hit me. Like if I think it's there that I come to him. No, that's where I finish him off. Uh, so you basically saw like attacked him, and he actually ran to me and do a giant hit instead of me going to him, punching, attacking him, and then he do sort of swing attack and me dodging it. Usually that's how it happens. That's how I remember. Like, I definitely remember that. That's why he got me many times, because I wasn't expecting that at all. You can also do the mind tricks. That was actually pretty fun to do right there. It actually happened something that I didn't expect. Like, I mind tricked the both of them, and they actually destroyed one of those sort of roundy things. I didn't expect that to happen. That's pretty funny to watch. But it's pretty much an easy way to get rid of enemies. Like, if you control... I don't know if there is a maximum number of controls. But, like, if there's a limited amount, I would say, like, if you can control 5 stormtroopers, it can do lots of damage to the enemy. But I don't think I don't think you can mind control everything. Like, for example, I'm not sure if you can mind control the guys that teleports, because there's those guys too. But that's gonna be way further, so I don't think that's going to happen. And there's also those red guys, which is the guys that only use the force. So they only use, like, I don't think they use electricity. I think they do actually, but they also use the actual physical force, like the pushing and stuff. And also the same power that I do when I push everything around me, they do that also. So, like, the only way to be able to kill them is not by powers, but it is by physical attacks. And when you do physical attacks, after you can like follow it with the electricity swords, and that will work because they are already being hit, so they can't really dodge that, because they cannot get hit and then dodge something. They cannot really use their force. And I think that's pretty much... No, that's not the last part. That's the part where we see the stormtroopers that flies. They're not that annoying, but they can be extremely annoying for some moments. Like, for example, the part that I actually took down, because the video is supposed to be an hour. So the giant part that I took down, there was a moment where I wanted to literally open a door. And, there were electricity doors, so I have to use the force. And since they were behind me, like, each time they were hitting me, I had to redo the opening again and again and again and again. Like, I literally lasted like that for like 5 minutes. So, like, for 5 minutes I literally tried to open, and they keep attacking me every time. It is still stopping every single time. I also cut out there because I actually died. I died once there. I must admit on that, because it was pretty hard. Like, I think there's only 2 moments like that. There's this one, and the other one, actually 3 of them, because there's 2 on the other one part that I cut out, which actually I thought I would be able to do the 2 parts, but I didn't realize it was an hour or more, so that's why I took it out. And also because the second mission was directly followed, so there was literally no pause, so it was directly. And there, I think, that's where I literally take the ships and I throw them to the thing, which is right here. I suppose it was happening all the time. So you can, which is what makes the game pretty cool, is like you can literally interact with anything. You can interact with the ships, with the objects. You can even, like what I did with the ships, you can even do that to some troopers or the creatures or the enemies, I would say. which is pretty cool also. Like, I can literally throw many stormtroopers in the void. Who doesn't like to do that when they're the Jedi? Like, literally. That's a pretty fun thing to do. There, the game pretty much said to me to use the power. I didn't really need to use the power, but you know, when the game forces you to do something, it's not really cool. That's only one thing that I don't really like about games, that they force you to do something. Like, they could just say, for example, if they wanted to teach me how to use the power unleash thing, they could say type this and still make me able to play without using it. You know, if it was a mistake, well, it would be a mistake anyway. Like, you know, you use nothing, but it's pretty much annoying to force you to do something. And the thing that's pretty cool, also, as you see right there, you have also finishing moves, as you saw, which is pretty cool. And also you have like kind of like a sort of button mechanism. Like, I know all of them by heart. I know, for example, for the 80, you have to press X 3 times to be able to do the finishing move, which is pretty cool. So the video is about to end, so I would say to you guys, I hope you all enjoyed the video and it wasn't too long, and I will see you guys next time.